are back again, Health Matters podcast. We talked about a lot of things in the last couple episodes, the year in review, relationships, holidays, and all that kind of stuff. But we're getting back to health in this particular episode when it comes to something that really hit me like a ton of bricks recently, and that is aging gracefully.
We're on the cusp of a new year. It's 2023, right on the horizon. We're all getting older, and it's like, man, how do we age gracefully? Like, we're not doing the same things. You're not doing the same things you were doing in your 30s. Same thing for your 20s. Every year is like, it should be a new checkpoint of evolution to be like, what are my habits? What am I doing? What am I eating? What am I drinking? What am I, feeding my mind? Who am I spending time with? Right? As we age, those things should be like sifting gold from the rough, dude, and like only bringing the best. So, yeah, there's a lot of habits, that I think are have become mainstream, like these cold plunges. You've been doing them now, and I did one with you.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, for me, it started off maybe middle of summer. For me, and there was a moment this last summer. I'm 49 years old right now. I'm going to be 50 in June of 2023, and it hit me, and I started thinking, oh my gosh, I definitely went off the rails a little bit in 2020 and 2021. I think a lot of people did, because there was just so much of a change in the world. We were locked down, we were afraid of a virus, we were changing all of these things in our normal everyday life based on the government and the CDC and all of these kinds of things. It completely warped our lives in that we weren't working in the same manner. We were working from home. We were distancing. There was all these things. So it became a culture shock for me. And I went into, I think like a lot of people, I was drinking a lot. We were home. We're like, why not just party? Yeah, let us party every day, because every day is a day off because we had to stay home. We went down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And then after a while, like most things, any good person is going to go, okay, we've got to put the brakes on this. We can't party every day forever. There's some bad side effects from it.
Sure.
And you get kind of, tired of waking up with a hangover and all those kind of things. So it was almost like we all relived our like early 20s or even our high school days during that short little period of time. But come this summer, I really, just was made aware somehow. It hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, I'm going to be 50. I didn't expect to be 50. I don't feel like I'm 50. And I feel like all of a sudden it just kind of came up, which means I spent 50 years on this earth without hardly even noticing it. And then if that's the case, then how quickly is 60 going to come upon me?
Right.
And I said, okay, I've got to make a change. I also realized that there were a lot of things in my life that I loved that I wasn't doing. I wasn't playing guitar, and I loved playing guitar and writing songs. I wasn't going surfing, and I loved doing that. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm doing all of this stuff. I'm living this life, but am I really enjoying it? Am I having a good quality of life?
Right.
And that really takes us into exercise. How is your body operating? Are you improving overall? Are there things that we can do and supplement, whether it be nutritional supplements or testosterone therapy or hormone therapy for men and women? That's become a thing now. And are we going to go into the next stage of life better or worse?
Right.
So I started to get back to the gym. I met a guy 10 years my elder by the name of Rob Ryan. He's 60 years old, in phenomenally better shape than I, smaller than me, smaller muscles than me. Like, if we both took our shirt off, you'd think, okay, Tim is obviously more in shape. Absolutely not true.
Yeah.
He crushes me. He lifts more weight than me at everything. This guy is phenomenal. It really inspired me. So I started going out and training for Spartan races. Because of the Spartan race training being so rugged, we're out there in the hills. running up vertical hills, running down vertical hills, climbing rocks, on top of doing an hour and a half in the gym, doing all kinds of crazy pull-ups and ab workouts. And, so then I realized, dude, my body's broken after all of this.
Yeah.
I need to recover. And that got me into the cold plunge stuff. Like, part of it was thinking, okay, I need to find a way to recover quickly. And the other part of me was like, okay, I want to do things that I've always not wanted to do because they're terribly uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So most people avoid uncomfortable situations or discomfort. And being in the cold is one of the things that people avoid like the plague. People will go in the heat more than they'll go in the cold. So I found myself in this time period where I'm looking at Wim Hof, who is the number one expert on cold therapy. It just supercharges your immune system. It shrinks inflammation in your joints.
Yeah.
It increases your metabolism. It turns your white fat cells to brown fat cells. Brown fat cells, a majority of brown fat cells have been associated with the decrease in cancer.
Yeah.
So there were so many benefits. Everybody thinks I'm an absolute nut for doing it because it's so uncomfortable. But you were brave enough to do a cold plunge with me. What were your thoughts about it when you did it?
Well, yeah. First of all, I had a back injury a week prior to coming over, and I did not expect to do that at all either. I was like, I'm just coming to chill with my boy, and he's like, let's go. We're getting in the cold plunge. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, I don't know.
I got a pair of shorts that'll fit you.
Yeah, dude. And I was like, okay, like, I'm not going to say no, And yeah, it was shocking, dude. It was tough. And it's been super cold here. So the pool's like, what, 40s? Something like that?
Yeah.
So, yeah. And man, you step in there and it's crazy. I think on the video you can't really tell too much, but my breathing went like a little crazy for a while, and then it kind of like mellowed out, But yeah, it's intense. It's crazy, and all like I got numb, my fingers, my hands, my toes, and stuff, and then yeah, it's crazy. But we were there for what, 3 minutes, probably 3.5 minutes, and then what I noticed, what was crazy is after coming out, I felt my body like tight. Like I felt like I was flexing, but I wasn't flexing, and I just felt like more solid. Like it was weird. So I think that kind of stood out more. And then
and did you notice a difference in your back afterward? Was it
slight? I guess so.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm like it was probably a week after, so I was already kind of doing a little better. But yeah, I mean, I've heard all the benefits of it, you know. And I've done the cryo chambers over at Float State, which I love. And they say, there's this huge benefit. So it's like, man, how do we get, a cold plunge, an actual unit, And I've been looking at videos and stuff like that. And yeah, it's become kind of trendy. Maybe just on my feed because I'm like in it.
There's more people doing it than I thought.
There's more people doing it, for
like,
sure.
Still,
now.
most people are not. So,
yeah.
Trend, maybe not. But
of the elite, it's like common.
Yeah, Tony Robbins does it every day. He
Yeah.
has a vertical, like 6.5 foot chamber that goes into the ground that's always in the 30s. And he doesn't dive. He feet first goes in that every single day.
Nice.
Joe Rogan started doing it every day. And then, yeah, you're right. Many of the people that I see that are very interested in personal growth of one form or another, whether it's athletics or, spiritual, mental, physical, are doing these cold plunges. And I think one of the things, if nothing else, there's so many medical health benefits, but if nothing else, you are not negotiating with your inner sissy. Right. And you're forcing yourself to do something that's way out of your comfort zone.
Yes.
And I think mentally, that just makes you stronger. Yeah. It makes you stronger. And when you come out of the cold plunge, whether it helped your back or not, your muscles were like strong and tense.
Yeah.
And what's happening actually medically is that they're all firing off to warm you up, which increases your metabolism, which causes you to burn like 4,800 400 to 800 more calories a
Got it.
day. But I walk out of that. You know, you notice on a day that's even cold, you come out of the cold plunge and it's not cold anymore.
Right.
And
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
just like, I can take this. I walk around the backyard when it's 40, 50 degrees outside with my shirt off, and you just feel like a stronger person.
Yeah, yeah. Cold plunges are great, and like I said, we need to figure out like get the like a chiller, or I've even seen like they'll turn a chest freezer into
Yes.
a cold plunge.
Oh, I never
And they'll
thought
just fill it up with water, and then like there's some real dramatic videos where it's like ice chunks and like you have to break through and then get in there, like whatever. It's all the same, right? It's gonna be 30s, 40s, whatever. But
Yeah.
we've been working in Flagstaff. I had a project out there, and I found a hotel that has a sauna, and so I've been getting in that sauna pretty much every day that we're out there, and man, it's the best. So I'll do a half hour in the sauna, and then and it's a steam one too, so you can add water and you can get that thing cooking, dude. Like you can't even breathe in it, and that's tough too. And then so I'll go from that, and then I'll go sit in the snow, like from one to the other. And so yeah, these extremes are so good for our bodies. Like, and a lot of people, there's all these like, oh, don't go from extremes because you're gonna get sick, this and that, and it's like, no, dude. Like, you need to go through these things. And even with Leia, like, I want her to go through the seasons. Like, I think kids are like way too coddled. Like, get in a sauna, kid. Get in an ice bath. Like, let's go. Get you started young so that you can be optimized and have this knowledge, because a lot of people are out there just like, yeah, inflamed, they're injured. I was in the gym, I had a back injury, and I didn't do anything different, dude. Like, I didn't try anything special. I didn't go overweight. I always pretty much I have my set thing, and I noticed a little something in my back, and I was like, huh, all right, that's there. And then that night, I'm like, yo, am I walking crooked right now? And I had a video. Lauren took a video of me walking, and she's like, dude, you're like bent so much. And I'm like, what the heck is this? It's never happened before,
And how old are you?
35.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people, welcome to your mid 30s, like this is just normal. Like, oh yeah, that happened to me at this time. Oh yeah, that's totally normal. It'll be a week, this and that. And so it's like, dang, dude, this is what aging is like, like I didn't do anything special. Like,
Yeah.
And so that just happens. And, oh, okay, cool. At some point, I'm just going to be my legs want to go right and my torso wants to go left, dude.
That's aging, and that gets to quality of life, actually, which is what it all is about overall. We don't realize it when we're younger, but especially when you're older, you realize your mortality. You realize you're not invincible.
Yeah.
And that's where I never cared. When I was in my 20s and 30s, I'm like, yeah, I'm strong. I don't have knee problems. I don't have back problems. Now I feel pain in both of those areas, and I have to watch it because you want to make sure you have a good quality of life. So, what I've learned when it comes to exercise, it really is a use it or lose it kind of a thing. If you're not growing your muscles and pushing your body to repair itself and fight the cold and fight the heat, your body gets weaker. It's just like if you don't go to the gym, you're not going to be strong. But when you think about the old days, I've been watching a show called 1883, which is about the people that were making their way across the America here, and trying to find a new place to live that wasn't on the East Coast where most people were. It was a hard life. If they wanted vegetables, they had to plow a field. Didn't matter if you were young or old, you were out there plowing the field because the family needed food.
Yeah.
And you had to take care of the horses, and you had to do every single thing yourself. And I made a comment to my my partner in training. I said, we're in the gym really simulating what everybody used to do every day. You used to wake up, and before you learned how to use the horses and the cattle to plow the field, you had to go plow the field. You had to use the hoe.
Yeah.
You had to get out there and pull the weeds. You had to bale the hay. You were lifting and doing stuff every single day. but society's not doing that now. And then, as you grow older, you start to lack certain things, like testosterone, for example.
I was gonna say, so the Liver. Are you familiar with Liver King?
I've heard it. Yeah, I've watched a few videos. He's a funny guy.
So this dude just ripped out, dude, right? And he has this whole thing about ancestral tenets, and that if people live by these 9 ancestral tenets, then they will achieve their highest potential. So he's eating raw liver. He's eating a bunch of weird like bone marrow and like bad weird stuff.
Yeah.
Drinking blood, okay? And he does these simulations like every Wednesday he simulates a hunt and then a kill. So he'll pack up like hundreds of pounds on his body in ankle weights, in, weighted vests. He'll even tow like plates on his back, and he'll walk. He's like, I'm going to simulate catching like an elk or a deer or something and then bringing it back to the house, because this is one of the ancestral tenets, is to load yourself up with weight and carry it to the tribe. And so, and there's been some controversy. Like, I got into him super big. Like, I think his message is great, but he got caught up recently on some steroid use. And I noticed like he started doing the podcast circuit, going on all the big boys, but from start day one, Rogan's like, F this guy. He's on steroids. This guy's jacked. He's full of, he ain't real,
Yeah.
He would go on these podcasts and people would ask him like, dude, you must be on like a lot of steroids. And he's like, nope. The only PEDs I'm on are, what was it? Prepare, execute, and dominate, or something like that.
So PED being a performance enhancing drug.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then it came out. Some emails came of him. He's basically spending $10,000 a month on steroids, right?
Yeah, a lot of growth hormone and testosterone and other things. So then that is, begs the question of like, is this wrong or right? Is there an ethical, moral kind of a thing?
Right.
I don't think there's a problem with performance enhancing drugs, but then even that word, it starts to bring in this connotation of bad.
Right.
There's so many people right now that are on what they call TRT. So now that's how they've made it sound nice, is testosterone replacement therapy.
Sure.
I don't think that's bad. And I know men and women that are on testosterone replacement therapy. There are many other. So testosterone is not a steroid, first of all. Let's put that out there.
Yeah.
Growth hormone really is not a steroid. Both of those things are naturally occurring in men and women.
And as we age, those levels decrease.
They drop down.
Yeah.
Now, there's also dianabol, trenbolone, we just call it tren because we can't pronounce it.
Gear.
Equipoise. Yeah, we refer to all that stuff as gear, or those are steroids that are made to make you grow. Probably not necessary unless you want to be a big bodybuilder and, or something like that. There's a big divide between all of those things and testosterone and estrogen and growth hormone. Growth hormone and testosterone, we have it in abundance when we're young. As we get older, each decade, we get a little less of that in our system. When you're 50, you have very low levels of testosterone as a man and a woman. And I know women that have been tested lately that had very low testosterone. So their libido was very low. They weren't able to metabolize fat very good. So they're gaining weight because they don't have enough testosterone.
Huh.
And we never thought about that for women. So I think those things are good to monitor. If you go to these reputable clinics, they will take your blood. They will show you the range. I recently had my blood work done.
Yeah.
The range for a man in my age group should be between, the low, very low range is 200 and the higher range is 800. There are guys that have testosterone that levels of 1,000 or 1,200.
Yeah.
And some of it's occurring naturally. Some of it's with replacement therapy. My levels were at 270, which is the lowest, right above 200. So I wasn't seeing as much growth in the gym and performance, on the trails as I could be seeing if I had more normal levels. Like a normal person at my age that doesn't have a deficiency would be around 500, 600, 700.
Got it.
So that's normal. So at your age, you're probably, if I were just to guess, I would say you're probably around 600 or more. When you hit 40, you're probably going to be around 500 or so. When you hit 45, you're going to be at like 350, 300. It just gradually drops and drops and drops.
Sure.
So I don't think there's a problem with doing testosterone therapy, whether you're a man or a woman, to keep your levels good and to keep yourself moving. Same thing with growth hormone. Your growth hormone's very high when you're a child. It's very high when you're a teenager. It's very high because you're just growing all the way through about your mid-20s. And then it drops and drops and drops. Growth hormone is responsible for everything from how you metabolize fat to how you process your food to how your skin looks, your vision, all of the things.
Sure.
And so that's why when you're 70 or 80 years old, your skin's terrible, your eyes are terrible.
You're falling apart.
You've got a microscopic amount of growth hormone. So I think it's okay to supplement with those things
and
too.
There's such a stigma around it, like, especially as it pertains to men and like, oh, he's on steroids. But it's like, dude, women have so many tools at their disposal. Botox, fillers, implants, makeup, dude, like extensions, all of these things that are just right there to make the woman feel younger, look younger, all these things, skin products, right? All these things. So like, I'm not saying that because I've never tried it. I probably would never inject anything into my body just because I don't know. It's weird, but
we'll talk about that on another episode.
Yeah, like
there's pills, there's pellets, there's creams.
Sure, yeah, that's why it's like, but why would it be bad for a dude to if his testosterone is low, go somewhere and then supplement that? It'd be like any other nutrient or vitamin that you're deficient in. If you're low in vitamin C, you take some little thing in your drink, boom, yeah. Cool.
And whether you're a man or a woman, if you're low on testosterone, it's going to bring your mood down. It will make you depressed, actually.
Huh.
So you can't function normally. So many women have started to supplement with testosterone, and all of a sudden they're happier. And their body is metabolizing fat quicker. So they look better. Yeah. They look better. They feel better. But these are, again, this all goes back to quality of life. You don't have to age terribly,
right?
Especially in this day and age. If you want to get lip fillers to a obviously there's an extreme that you can go to. But if you want your lips to be a little bigger, if Botox helps you look a little better, I kind of consider it all the same as makeup. You're doing things that, of course, if nobody did their hair or wore makeup, we'd all probably not look great. There's that one or two people that that always look great.
Sure. Yeah.
But most of us are not that person. So I think especially as you're getting older, I think it's a good thing to do whatever you need to do. And sometimes it's uncomfortable. Sometimes it means a little bit of plastic surgery. I'm not talking about going crazy Hollywood.
Right.
But if you've got hanging jowls and the turkey neck, to get that nipped up a little bit, nip and tuck, that's fine.
Sure.
I think it's okay. If you need to do some hormone replacement therapy to be happier and to live a better quality of life, yes, do that. I would much rather do hormone replacement therapy than be on Xanax or any of those mood-altering drugs that have terrible side effects.
Yeah. Yeah, so Liver King, he put out this long apology video, and I lied, I this, I that. And it's like, dude, nobody cares, actually. Like everyone low-key knew, and nobody cares. Like, yeah, it's probably not a good character to go around and lie to people to their faces, especially influential people that, you're going to probably want to ally yourself with, and you're just bold-faced lying to them. That's probably not a good look.
He went wrong in the same way that the preachers in the 80s and 90s went wrong.
Yeah.
They put themselves on this pedestal of perfection.
Right.
And then when you find out they're real people doing what real people do, which is sometimes not always great, then then you let everybody down. I think if he would have come out and said, "Hey, I eat a lot of raw liver and organs, and I work out like crazy, and I've got these 9 ancestral tenets that I live by. I do some growth hormone, I do some testosterone replacement. And yeah, that then everybody would have fully accepted that.
Right.
But he tried to act like the only reason that he's so jacked is because he eats raw liver, and that's not true.
Yeah.
It probably is helpful, but I know a lot of people that are super buff that don't eat raw organs.
Right.
So he was great in the shock style of marketing. Like,
Yeah.
I'm Liver King. Why are you Liver King? Because I eat raw meat and raw organs.
He had me doing it. I ate raw liver.
You did, which is, I think, cool to go back to some of the old ways. I think there's also some sanitation issues there, probably. And there's also it's a lot different. You know, if you're hunting an animal and you eat the organ right out of the body, there rather than it sitting around and collecting bacteria for 2 weeks on a truck, there's something going on there. But I think the main thing with him is that he wasn't authentic. There's a lot of people like Mark Bell. His brother did a movie about steroids probably 10, 20 years ago. And because of that, he has made a name for himself as a person who openly does steroids, but he uses them responsibly. He's not crazy big or anything like that. He just uses them to get where he wants to be physically, and he's intelligent about it, but he's always been out in the open about it, so therefore he has everybody's respect.
Sure.
That's where the Liver King went sideways.
Yeah, and moral of the story is everyone's aging, you know, and everyone should age gracefully, you know. And so, yeah, girls, you want to go out and do your upgrades and makeup and fillers and this and that. Cool. Handle.
More power to you.
Go handle, dude. Again, don't get botched out, dude. Like, don't get all weird. So it's like, and then dudes, yeah, you want to get some testosterone. You want to do this or that. Cool. Handle, you know, watch out for your heart. Watch out for other functions that may affect. But dude, nobody really cares.
The only extreme things that I do are physically.
And don't allow yourself to be overweight, ultimately.
Yeah.
That's like the thing.
Overweight's the killer, but the extreme things I do are in my training and my cold plunges and in my heat therapy. I'm not doing extreme things with testosterone or drugs or anything like that. The extreme things that I do are to push my body, to push my mind, and to make sure that I am physically active and able, because what I'm really most afraid of is being that 60 or 70-year-old person that's hunched over with osteoporosis and can't move their legs because you've let them deteriorate so much. I will not go into this fourth quarter of life.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm like here, but
can't even move.
I'm not going into that like an invalid.
Yeah. Stay active. Don't allow yourself to become overweight. Do these little practices of discipline tests and putting yourself through difficulty, short-term difficulty, that's going to basically give you a long-term quality of life, you know, and don't allow your body to, is it atrophy?
Yeah.
Just be idle.
It's when the muscles just shrink and go away.
Because they're not being used, you know? And so, yeah, everyone wants to age gracefully. I think it's a very important topic. And I think that if there's stuff that we can do that will allow that process to, you know, live out without it deteriorating us, then just go. Handle.
All it takes for a good person to lose or for evil to win is for a good person to do nothing.
Yeah.
So just do something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't sit there and let your body waste away and your mind waste away. That's when you get injuries, you get Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, because you're not using your mind and your body. So do something.